Hello, geometry people. Hopefully, you're nice and warm wherever you are, but unfortunately, you do need to do a little schoolwork today, too. So, um, there is a link to a worksheet on my planner there, and you should pull that up. You don't need to print it out. Here's a copy of it right here. We're going to look at together. And it's the same type of stuff that we were doing in our previous lesson. So we're just going to go through and get some additional practice here. Remember, the thing that we're looking at here is n minus 2 times 180. And what this tells us is what the sum of the interior angles are for an n-sided figure. So on the worksheet, we're going to be doing the odds. Okay, just the odds. There's 57 problems on the worksheet, but you don't need to do all of them because we're just going to do the odds 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. So on a separate sheet of paper, because you don't have a worksheet to begin with, remember you're going to show your work. Let's do number 1 together. Number 1, when we look at the figure, has how many sides? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. That's an octagon. And it's n minus 2 times 180. But our n, since it's an 8-sided figure, is 8. We'll do 8 minus 2 times 180. Best if you have a calculator. Phones have been known to work, but calculators are preferred. Anyways, if I did 8 minus 2, I'd get 6, and I can take 6 times 180 to get 1,080. So I'm going to write 1,080 as my answer. That is what I would get if I added all of the interior angle measures together. Okay? So you would continue to do that for 1 and for 3, 5. You don't even have to count. It just tells you there's 18. So you do 18 minus 2 times 180. Okay? Then we move on to the next section, and it says find the measure of one angle of each regular polygon. Remember that regular polygons have all of their angles the same measure. So once again, if we count the number of sides, there's 8 of them, which means there's going to also be 8 angles. So for this one, number 13, we're going to use this n minus 2 times 180 again. This time we're going to divide by n because the top of this fraction is going to give us what the sum of the angle measures would be if I added all those together. And when I divide it by how many they are, that'll tell us how much each one would be. And since this again is an octagon, an 8-sided figure, we're going to do 8 minus 2 times 180 divided by 8. Okay? So we know on the top, because we had that problem before, we're going to get 1,080. But we're going to divide that by 8. 1,080 divided by 8 gives us 135. 135. It's actually in degrees, but that's how much each of the angles for this regular octagon would be. That angle right there, 135 degrees. That angle right there, 135 degrees. That angle right there, 135 degrees. Every one of the angles inside there will be 135 because we made the calculation. Okay? So you're going to do that same thing for the rest of this section. For 15, count the sides. That's going to give you your n. Plug it into the formula. There's your formula. Do the math. You'll get a different number for numbers at 15. Now, these down here, you don't even have to count the sides. It tells you. Like 17 says it's 11 gone. So you're going to plug 11 in for your n. Okay? Remember that n goes both up here and down there. Groovy? Groovy. Let's move on and do something else like number 25. Okay? Again, make sure you're writing out all of your work on a piece of paper so that you get credit. 25. How many sides does that figure have? It's got 4. N minus 2 times 180. In this case, 4 minus 2 times 180. Do the math and you're going to get 360, okay? So now, for this 4-sided figure, that if I added all of these angles together, I would get 360. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go, 360 is what you get when you add up each of these angles. The first one was 2x plus 20. So I'm going to say 360 is equal to 2x plus 20 plus, let's go around clockwise, plus this angle, which is 2x. So I'm going to add 2x to that. Plus, we'll add our next angle. This one down here is 2x plus 20. So I'll say 2x plus 20. Plus our last angle over here, 2x. So what I did is I said, okay, if I added this one, plus this one, plus this one, plus this one, I'd get 360, the total, when I add them together. All right? So I've written this out. Now we can simplify this. 360 is what you get. Let's collect our like terms. 2x plus 2x is 4x, plus another 2x is 6x, plus another 2x, that's 8x's. Plus, now let's put our numbers together. 20 plus 20 is 40. So we just simplified that top part. How would we get our x's by themselves? Yep, let's subtract 40 from both sides. 360 minus 40 is 320. These cancels and leaves us with 8x. These cancels. Good English, Mr. Boken. All right, so we're going to get 320, and we're going to divide both sides by 8. So we're going to do 320 divided by 8 to give us 40. So 8's cancel, x equals 40. All right, so that's how we solve for x in these. Keep in mind, this one totaled 360 because there were 4 sides, but this one's not going to total 360. It's got 6 sides. Again, you're going to go back and use our n minus 2 times 180, put 6 in there because there's 6 sides, and that'll tell you what the total is. And then you can sum up all the angles and figure out what y is, okay? Just like we did for x. Groovy? Groovy. Next side. Here we have some unknowns, and again, all we have to do is figure out how many sides there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. N minus 2 times 180 will tell us what they would total. And then we can just subtract it. So let's figure out number 31 together. 31 es, remember it's n minus 2 times 180. In this case, our n is 6. So that's 6 minus 2 times 180. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 times 180 is going to give us 720. So now I know if I added all the angle measures together, right, that they'd be equal to 720. In other words, 720 is equal to, now let's see if we can slide these together. I'll just start at the top up here, 124 plus 150. We're just going to add all these together, plus 93 plus 130. Slide that over a little bit so you can get these on here. Plus our x plus 90. I'm going to just switch these around and go plus 90 plus x, right? Now, we can use a calculator and add all those together. Give myself some room here. Things are disappearing. All right. I'm going to add 124 plus 150 plus 93 plus 130 plus 90 gives us 587. So 720 is equal to 587 plus x. How do we get x by itself? Subtract 587 from both sides. So I go 720 minus 587, 133. So now our x for that particular problem right there, x was 133 degrees. Okay? So very similar to what we did before. That's how you do those ones. Now, next section says to find the values of the variables for each regular polygon. Here we've got some, I'm sorry, next section says actually find the measure of exterior angle for each regular polygon. Now, exterior angles are like these down here. This N down here, that's an exterior angle. This X is an exterior angle. This B is an exterior angle. Okay? Find the measure of an exterior angle of each regular polygon and round to the nearest tenth. The thing is, if you add up all the exterior angles, no matter how many sides there are, they add up to be 360. So like on 36, we don't do 36. On 37, it's a 16 gon. There's going to be 16 exterior angles. Since it's a regular polygon, they're all going to have the same measure, and they add up to 360. To find one of them, we take 360, their total, and divide by 16. If I do that on my calculator, 360 divided by 16 gives me 22.5. Okay? So for each of these, we're going to take 360 and divide by the number it gives us. So what are you going to get on 39? Well, you're going to take 360 and divide by 20. What are you going to do for 41? Well, you're going to take 360 and divide by 4. Why 4? Because squares have 4 sides. We're dividing by how many sides there are. Because, believe it or not, polygons have exactly the same number of sides as they do angles. Don't worry, Charlie, I got an angle. All right. Find the values of the variables for each regular polygon. Right? If this is a regular polygon and there's 3 sides, then I can find y, one of the interior ones, by doing 180 and dividing it by 3. Now, why did I say 180? I said 180 because it's a triangle, and we know the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180. If you're not sure, you can go back and use our formula. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 times 180 is 180. If I add up the interior angles, they add to 180. Since there's 3 of them and they're all the same, I can just divide the total by 3 to get what each one is. 180 divided by 3 is going to tell me that each angle is 60 degrees, okay? So y is 60 degrees. You know what this angle measure is? 60 degrees, because they're all the same. It's a regular polygon. Now, here's a bigger question. If I want to know what this angle here is, all together that forms a line, I know it's going to be 180. So, how big is x? Well, x is that bigger angle, 180 degrees, minus the smaller angle, minus 60 degrees. 180 minus 60 makes this 120 degrees for angle x. Okay? Make sense? Now that doesn't work on 47 exactly the same because 47 is not a triangle. But if you use n minus 2 times 180, you will be able to figure out what size A is, because if you just take 180 and if you take your n minus 2 times 180, there it is, and you divide it by n, you'll find out what A is. We did that over here. It's the same as these ones, okay? All right. Groovy. All right. For my negotiating students, you can stop after 47, okay? The rest of us, let's move on. The measure of an exterior angle of a regular polygon is given. Find the measure of an interior angle. These you can't see what I'm pointing at. These exterior angles, right? When you add it to the interior angle, always have to be 180. Let me say that again. If you added the exterior angle and the interior angle together, you're going to get 180. It's giving us the measure of an exterior angle. To find the interior angle, we'll do 180 minus the number they give us. Yep, that's what you do. Here we go. 180 minus a 12 gives us a 168. So we got that. Now, the other part of this says, then find the number of sides. So how many sides does it have? Well, if you had 360 as the sum of the exterior angles, and each one is 12, you can just divide by 12. So we get, computer turned up, 360 divided by 12, and that gives us 30. Okay, so that tells us we have a 30-sided figure for 49. So 2 things on that. All you have to do is take 180 minus the number that it gives us. That'll tell us what the interior angle measures are. And then we take 360 and divide it by that number, and that'll tell us how many sides we have for that figure. Okay? Remember, you're just doing the odds here. Stay warm. Hopefully we'll see you on Friday. Good luck. Bye-bye.